We have explored the silent, shadowed halls of the underworld. We have seen the tragic, frozen garden of Medusa. But today, we leave the silence behind. Today, we enter the storm. He is the Lord of the deep, but he is not just the god of the sea. When the ground beneath your feet splits open in an earthquake, that is him. When a storm shatters a fleet of ships, that is him. He is the Earthshaker, the Tamer of Horses, the most volatile, greedy, and dangerous Olympian of them all. Welcome back, Odysseans. In our first video, we met Hades, the misunderstood, stoic introvert who stays in his lane. Poseidon is the exact opposite. If Hades is the stone, Poseidon is the hurricane. He is emotional, he is petty, and his power is terrifying because it is completely unpredictable. To understand the Greek world, you must respect the sea. And to respect the sea, you must fear its king. Like his brothers, Poseidon was a son of the Titan Kronos. When the cosmos was divided, he drew the lot for the seas. Now, while Hades accepted the underworld and did his job quietly, Poseidon was never quite satisfied. The ocean is vast, covering most of the world, but Poseidon always wanted more. He was constantly fighting the other gods for land. He fought Hera for Argos. He fought Helios for Corinth. But his most famous failure illustrates his character perfectly: the contest for Athens. Both he and Athena wanted to be the patron of this great city. To win the people over, Poseidon struck the Acropolis with his trident. A spring of water burst forth, a miracle, but the water was salty, just like him. It was impressive, but useless. Athena, in contrast, planted an olive tree, providing food, oil, and wood. The people chose the tree. They chose civilization over raw power. This rejection fueled a bitterness in Poseidon that would last for eons. But Athens wasn't the only time his labor was disrespected. Long before the Trojan War, Poseidon actually built the legendary walls of Troy. He and Apollo served the mortal king Laomedon, constructing a fortification so massive it was said to be impregnable. When the work was done, the king refused to pay the gods their wages, a fatal mistake. Poseidon didn't sue. He sent a sea monster, a Cetus, to ravage the coast and devour the king's daughter. This story reveals a crucial truth about Poseidon. He is a master builder, yes, but if you disrespect his creation or his effort, he will not hesitate to unleash monsters to tear it all down. He was the middle child of the big three, constantly acting out, constantly shaking the earth with his trident when he didn't get his way. His temperament was the ocean, calm and glittering one moment and a destructive cataclysm the next. We saw the consequences of his recklessness in our last video on Medusa. To Poseidon, Medusa wasn't just a woman, she was a pawn in his war against Athena. By desecrating Athena's temple, he was sending a message of dominance to his niece. And notice the pattern? When Athena punished Medusa, where was Poseidon? He was gone, retreated back to the safety of the deep. He is a god who crashes in, destroys lives to satisfy a momentary urge or a grudge, and then recedes like the tide, leaving others to deal with the wreckage. But he wasn't just a destroyer, he was also a creator, and his greatest creation is perhaps the greatest mystery in all of mythology. Long before it sank, Atlantis was the jewel of the ancient world, and it was Poseidon's personal project. According to the philosopher Plato, when the gods were dividing up the earth's islands, Poseidon chose a lush, beautiful island in the Atlantic. There he fell in love with a mortal woman named Cleito. To protect her and to create a home for their children, Poseidon carved the island itself into a marvel of engineering. This wasn't just a city, it was a fortress of geometry and water. He shaped the land into alternating zones of sea and earth, 3 rings of water, 2 rings of land, perfectly circular, surrounding a central hill where he built a holy sanctuary for Cleito. The city glittered with a metal known as orichalcum, second only to gold in value, which glowed like fire. In the center stood the Temple of Poseidon, a massive structure filled with golden statues, including one of the god himself driving 6 winged horses. It wasn't just the architecture that was divine, the rituals were terrifyingly potent. Plato describes the kings of Atlantis gathering in this temple alone, without iron or weapons. They would hunt a bull with stabs and nooses, slitting its throat over a pillar inscribed with Poseidon's laws. They drank the bull's blood mixed with wine from golden cups, swearing oaths to be just rulers. It was a civilization built on direct communion with their god, a blend of high sophistication and primal, bloody tradition. It was a utopia. The soil was rich, the people were wealthy, and for generations they possessed true and in every way great spirits. They were the children of Poseidon, and they ruled with wisdom. This was Poseidon at his best, the life-giver, the provider of wealth, the architect of civilization. But remember, the sea is volatile. Over generations, the divine blood of Poseidon was diluted with mortal nature. The Atlanteans grew arrogant, they became greedy, they ceased to be a utopia and became a tyrannical empire hungry for conquest. Zeus, the king of the gods, saw this corruption. He gathered the gods to decide Atlantis's fate. Now here is the tragedy. Did Poseidon fight for his city? Did he raise his trident to defend the home he built for the woman he loved? No. Perhaps he realized his experiment had failed. Perhaps he saw that his perfect creation had become as corrupt as the land dwellers he despised. In a single day and night of misfortune, Plato writes, the earth shook and the sea swallowed them whole. Poseidon unmade what he made. He allowed the sea to reclaim his masterpiece. The rings, the gold, the orichalcum, the temple, all of it dragged down into the crushing dark. He drowned an entire civilization, but his wrath could also be intensely personal. Look at the story of Odysseus. After the Trojan War, Odysseus was simply trying to go home, but in a moment of survival, he blinded the Cyclops Polyphemus, Poseidon's son. The result? A 10-year nightmare. Poseidon didn't kill Odysseus instantly. That would be too merciful. Instead, he tormented him. He tossed his ship across the sea, drowned his crew, and kept him from his family for a decade. This is the danger of the sea god. He holds a grudge like the ocean holds its salt. He is relentless, battering you wave after wave until your spirit breaks. Poseidon is not evil like the Christian devil, nor is he just like Hades. He is something far more primal. He is nature. Nature gives us the rain that waters our crops and the flood that drowns them. It gives us the calm seas for trade and the storms that wreck our ships. It is beautiful and it is indifferent to our suffering. We look at the ocean and feel awe, but we should also feel fear, because the king of the deep is always watching. And as the Atlanteans learned, what the tide brings in, the tide can just as easily wash away. If you enjoyed this dive into the deep, please like and subscribe to Mythic Odyssey. And I have a question for you. We've covered the 3 brothers now, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. Who do you think was the true most powerful god, the king of the sky or the Earthshaker? Let me know in the comments below.